Welcome back. If you're watching this, it means you have accepted that the market is a code. But to read a code, you need a sensor. In TCPA system, the sensor is the candlestick analogy. Today, I'm not sure if you can see this properly. Today, I'm going to teach you to stop looking at colors and start reading the energy. If you want to take your life and your trading seriously, you must repent from the guessing mindset. From this moment on, you are a market engineer. You don't think a bar is strong. You know it is strong. You don't get to think a bar is weak. You know that the price or the bar is weak, and this would be according to the physics of pressure that tells you so. So to start off, let's begin with the mechanical pressure rules. In TCPA, we read pressure mechanical or mechanically. I don't know what's the proper word for that. There is no maybe. Here are 5 laws of single bar pressure. Laws of a single bar pressure, right? Number 1, the shaved bar. This is a bar with no wicks, the one which I've just illustrated here. This shows a weakness in the market. It shows that the price is exhausted, or the exhaustion of price. The price didn't even have the energy to reject a level in this case, and I'm talking of this bars. So these bars are weak, and we treat them as weak always. Number 2, equal wicks. It shows the strength, this one, and it shows high intensity, volatility, and rejection on both sides. The battle is really strong between the buyers and the sellers. The wicks have to be equal. I'm talking about this bar here. A lot of you know it as a high wave candlestick. Number 3, long lower wick, and this would obviously be on a bullish bar. It can even be in a bearish bar, but let's speak of a bullish bar. This shows strength. It shows the floor is solid. Buyers are in control. This is every time when you see bars like this, you know that they are strong. For as long as they are bullish and they are like this, but once they become bearish, you know that they are strong also. Strong bearish, strong bullish. And moving on to number 4, the long upper wick. And this long upper wick on the bearish bar, I think this one, this is the exactly what I've just explained as I was explaining this one. And the psychology works the same on that bar. And moving on to number 5, then we'll have the opposing wick. If you see a bullish bar with a long upper wick, that is the weakness. It means the buyers try to push but were slapped down. And I'm speaking of bars like this. You know this bar, you know it as a bottom shaped, right? And this one you'd know it as a head shaped bar. So if you see bars like this which have the opposing wick, you know that they are weak. And I didn't even speak of the dodges, but the dodges, the psychology works the same. That's why I tied them together, or I put them in the same row. It's because they do work the same way. And now what about if you have a doji? A doji where the price opens and closes at the exact same level with no movement is regarded as strong, right? Sorry for that. Did you understand what I said? a doji that have no movement, and I'm speaking of this one. This is the last one. Once you see a doji like that, uh, it is a point of a total compression, a coiled spring ready to explode. That's why this bar, once you see any price action with a bar like this, you know that at that moment price was strong. And by the way, this is according to the TCPA trading code. If you are using other systems, don't apply this psychology. Apply it wherever, however you was taught to apply it. But if you're gonna use the TCPA trading code, you're gonna need to use this exact rules. If you're not gonna use this exact rules, then you're gonna get the wrong binary outputs. Remember, we are heading towards learning how we can actually turn the market price action into binary data. Now moving on, we're gonna talk about the dual bar dynamics, uh, compression versus expansion. Sometimes one bar isn't enough. For our advanced strategies, we look at the relationship between two bars to find the trend DNA. Let's first start off with the expanding pressure. When bar 1 is weak and bar 2 becomes strong in the same direction, the energy is growing. Like if you can see, we have the weak pressure and we have the strong pressure. So we know that the energy is growing, and that's why we reference this to as an expanding pressure. And moving on to compressing pressure, when bar 1 is strong and bar 2 becomes weak, the energy is facing a single point of exhaustion. So if you can look at this pressure and this pressure, they are both pointing in the same direction, midpoint, and we know that in that way the pressure is compressing, right? Now moving on to the parallel pressure, when both bars show identical buying or selling pressure, this is a free trend. Do not stand in its way. What do I mean? The pressure is identical here, down pressure, down pressure. So in that way it reflects that we have too much strength and you can't even, you know, trade going against such kind of pressures, at least sometimes. But we'll get to see how we'll be applying this in the future and how we'll be using it. We don't say price is strong and then jump into buying. We don't say price is weak and then we jump into shorting the market or something like that. We don't do that at all. We will see how we apply this, or how we put this into application um, to get reasonable results. And why does this matter, by the way? Because pressure gives you consistency. You see that all this matters because pressure will give you consistency. And when you read pressure correctly, you can hit 10 to 14 contracts in a row, at least them being correct. For my case scenario, I can hit 14 0 BIS in a row, and that one, it's for me, it's good to have something like that because I can capitalize on that. And this is the key for the long runs, basically. And I think we are about to get to the end of the presentation. All right, so right now let's quickly talk about momentum, the static move. While pressure measures the fight, static movement measures the velocity. If the last bar of the trend is physically larger than the previous one, you have an increase in momentum. This is a strong trend, and if the body is shrinking, you are losing momentum, and this is a sign of a weakness. Um, Well, if you can see on this illustration, we have bar 1 and bar 2, right? Bar 1 was smaller, bar 2 was bigger. So in this case, we have increasing momentum. And increasing momentum, it shows that the strength is strong. And in this case, we have what? A bigger bar and a smaller bar. So if you can look at this, we have lost or just the same thing. It's actually simple. This one, it indicates the weak pressure. So the professional truth about these things is pressure is for consistency, but it requires patience because the market will fake you out in the first 4 seconds if you are trading the 5 seconds before it rejects. And momentum is it's actually quicker and more direct. But now when we look at the binary numbers, they often alternate in many cases. And as an elite trader, it was my it's my responsibility to choose the weapons based on the session goals. You know, I don't want to trade alternating markets that much. It's not easy to make strategies on alternating markets if you're gonna use the binaries. But under pressure, you can get a stream of 0 BIs or 1 BIs, consistently without, a mix up or something like that. So the conclusion about today's lesson, we are on the path to, becoming the elite traders. So the difference between a gambler and a professional: a gambler sees a green bar and buys. A TCPA engineer sees a green bar, calculates the upper wick to the body ratio, and identify it as weak pressure or as strong pressure, and wait for the binary reversal. Basically, if you can see, it's like these are the longest step, but the moment you get this system, you'd even get to recognize that this is very simple. It can even be understood by what a grade 7 student. uh, Take this seriously. Observe your charts today. Don't read yet. Just look at the wicks and say strong or weak. Train your eyes to see the energy. In the next lesson, which will be lesson number 3, we'll discuss the time frame, relativity, and why this logic works, whether you are trading the 5-second chart or whether you are trading the 5-hour chart. Now, stay tuned. The light is at the end of the tunnel. Stay disciplined, and I'll see you on the next lesson. Bye bye.